Hello, folks. Good morning to each one of you. As always, a pleasure and a joy to connect and speak with you on contemporary topics, primarily to do with life and careers. And if that's something which interests you, I urge you to consider subscribing to this channel and probably watch this video until then and maybe like it and share it with your friends. Career compounding, very interesting perspective, very interesting topic. In this entire channel, I've been posting series of videos as to why managing a career is very important, and more than that, what are the mistakes you shouldn't make in your career. This should be viewed in that sense, and maybe this video could also sound like a lot of repetition if you had watched some of my earlier videos. But just to give a better perspective, career compounding is one of the very critical factors which makes us succeed in our careers, and there's no doubt about it. If you look at people who have succeeded, who got wonderful careers, who really have made it big, they knowingly or unknowingly have made use of career compounding. So let us quickly look at what exactly career compounding can be and how you should interpret it and make use of it. This video is primarily focused, or maybe should be very useful for people who are just starting off their careers or in the early careers, but nevertheless, even people with mid-career or people with a fair amount of experience can have some insights in terms of how things can get better if they manage things better or try and understand things from a better perspective. Just to give the power of compounding, we all know, if you're fairly aware of financial management or money management, you all know that compounding money is the biggest way to multiply money, and the richest people in the world are probably not those who really earning 10 times or 15 times than the average person, but the richest people have reached there because they have compounded money. Anecdotally, it is always said that the first crore is very difficult to make. The first crore, it takes about 10 years to make, and so the subsequent crores come very fast, is what people who understand money management say. So the struggle is only to make the first crore. Like that, the struggle to establish your career and established your career trajectory is only for the first maybe 10 years, I would say, and that is why it is very important to manage the first 10 years or 15 years of a career in a very careful way. And what do I mean by very careful? Like money is invested in a long run. Like, for example, if somebody is investing in a mutual fund from a money management perspective, they're going to put the money and leave the money there for 5 years or 6 years or 7 years. And when they leave the money for 5 years, 6 years or 7 years, the rate of return is phenomenally high and exponentially higher than what it can be if you probably take out the money and reinvesting it in other places. Exactly how you should probably handle your initial jobs. The initial jobs, the tendency is to probably run a sprint and probably earn a lot of money, but believe me, just running sprints takes you nowhere in the initial part of your career. You have to carefully run marathons in the initial part of the career. Yes, to that extent, it is important to get the first job very right. There's no doubt about it. I'll probably link up a video where I'm talking about the power of starting early and power of getting the first job right. But once you get the first job right, or even probably even if it is not a very ideal job which you are thoroughly enjoying, it is very important to make your mark there at least for 3 to 5 years in the first job. Very important. Likewise, in the first 10 or 15 years of a career, make sure that you probably are not moving more than 3 or 4 companies. This is the biggest advantage which people who have succeeded in careers, have wonderful careers, have really done. They're not done something very spectacularly different. They're not 10 times more talented than the average individual. They're not 10 times more competent. All they're using is they're using the power of career compounding, where they carefully stick on to a place for a few years and then only consider the next move, irrespective of any lure which may be there. What happens if you pass out from a big B school or a fancy or top-notch engineering college, and once you finish 2 years in the first employment, naturally there are a lot of people approaching you saying that there are better opportunities with the lure of money and better roles. The lure of money and better roles is very, very short term, I would tell you. Yes, it might appear that you probably are getting 1.5x than what your present job is paying. It is a 50% jump. It is very, very normal today. I mean, if you have a niche talent in a specific area, be it in technology or non-technology, when you finish your first stint in about 2 years, there will be at least 10 organizations which reach out to you saying that, look, we'll give you a 50%, 60% hike. And it is big money, I'm not denying that. But what happens is, if you quickly make 1 or 2 jumps like that, then the power of compounding is completely lost, because in 3 or 4 years, you'll be in your third or fourth job. Like, for example, in 10 years, you might be in your 6th or 7th job. What happens is, at that point, you hit a plateau, and because of that, the rest of your career is going to be very, very even, or even can take a downside. That is why I keep on emphasizing this. Make no mistakes in the first part of your career. Even if it is not the best job you can be, make sure that you probably stick on for 3 to 5 years minimum. 3 years is the barest minimum, and less than 3 years, irrespective of what the lure is, even if it is big money, be very, very cautious when you make a switch, because by making such frequent switches, you are losing the power of career compounding. So career compounding works very well when you take care of your initial career trajectory, and also use that time to probably find your niche better, refine your niche, become a better person, establish your deep knowledge and skills in a particular area, establish yourselves as an authority in whatever you're doing. And that takes about 5 to 7 years or 8 years, undeniably. And in this time, if you're going to constantly keep switching jobs, you're just going to be a rolling stone which gathers no moss. And end of the day, maybe in about 10 or 15 years time, your career will hit a plateau. And believe me, there is a distinct probability that if you make mistakes early in your career, maybe when you're 40, you will have nowhere to go. I'm not exaggerating. I always speak with a wealth of experience in terms of what all mistakes you can make in your career. I made all those mistakes, and I don't want you to make all those mistakes. Things like career compounding are things which dawned very late into my mind, and it is very, very clearly, if I look in hindsight, I can see that I probably made every possible career mistake, just discounting or utterly disregarding this career compounding point of view. And you might ask me, what happens after 10 or 15 years of a career? Once your career is very, very strong, very, very established, you become a competent person, you have a deep domain expertise in some areas, and we always keep talking about the T-shaped expertise now, where you have deep expertise in one particular skill, and you have a little bit of knowledge in a wide area of skills. Those are the people who become sought after if their first 10 or 15 years of a career is very, very stable. After that, you'll really go places. Your compensation will probably go 3x or 4x, not just in terms of your job title and role, but in terms of meaty roles, in terms of getting to senior management very, very fast. You'll be much faster than anybody who has done mistakes in those first 10 years. That exactly is the power of career compounding. As I said, the best analogy we can draw is along with the fact that how money is compounded. The first crore is the toughest to make, but the subsequent crores come very, very fast. That totally and completely applies to somebody who has got their first part of their career right. Yes, the first part of their career where the growth is slow, your money could be slow. Maybe in 10 years, your peers or some of your peers who quickly jump jobs can be at 2x or 3x of your compensation. But in 20 years' time, those who made mistakes in the first part of their career, who discounted the career compounding aspect, will clearly lag behind, and you'll probably catch up, because they are only running multiple sprint, whereas you are running a marathon, and you're trained to be a marathon runner. From a career perspective, you have those skill sets, you have deep knowledge, you have domain expertise, you've developed your hard and soft skills, and you developed a very, very multifaceted personality, because you've been very, very stable in places. And because of that, each of your job has given you a lot of enriching experience. That is very, very important, because when you keep hopping jobs, yes, in tech jobs like plain vanilla coding, it doesn't matter if you can keep on changing, the fundamental coding remains the same. But in case of non-tech jobs or probably niche jobs like financial management, accounting, marketing, sales, branding, and multiple other areas, even in technology, very, very clearly, the more stable you are in the initial part of a career, the more deep your learnings are going to be, the more insights you have about your markets, clients, client perspective, pitching, getting business, and etc. And all of this will only push you up to the senior management. So it is very, very important to get your first part of your career right. As I said, if you probably are a subscriber to my channel and I've seen some of my videos earlier, this might sound like a repetition. It might sound like I'm running the same record again and again. But the fact is, there is no limit to which you can emphasize the fact that you should get your early part of your career right. And think about this, embed this in your mind that your only goal in the first part of your career, or even the way you manage your career, is career compounding. Get the first 1 crore of your career right, and the subsequent crores will come to you very, very fast. There is also another perspective or point of view of career compounding. Maybe if you are an avid reader of blogs and the print media and digital media, the other way of career compounding is essentially they talk about better networking skills, being constantly networked in your fraternity, using LinkedIn and social media platforms to connect better. You becoming a mentor and mentee to people, willing to learn, willing to get trained, and a whole host of other, maybe 10 or 15 other softer areas of skills which are also catalysts in compounding careers. Here we are not, yes, we appreciate that those kind of things are very, very important, but much more important than any of those is the fact that you need to get your career trajectory in the initial part of your career right, and that is what we are emphasizing here. That is why I've been repeating it very, very often. Yes, you do probably if you are in your earlier career, you should spend a lot of time doing research in terms of whether you're in your right space, whether you have the competencies in that space, whether you are enjoying doing that, whether you're passionate about what you're doing, and also whether you'll get monetarily rewarded to get paid that. It is the success in a career is a very, very fine mix of all these things. You do what interests you, you do what you're good at, you do what the market needs, job market needs, and more than that, the market is willing to pay for those skills. This is a kind of judicious mix which makes successful careers. And believe me, there is nothing like somebody is going to be 100% happy with any job. If people are going to be happy with their jobs, maybe 60-70%, but that is wonderful. Even if the 60%, 70% happiness in your job, you'll really go places because you're very, very serious about the pursuit of a long-term career trajectory. You might ask me what will happen after 10 or 15 years if I follow this path. Believe me, after that your growth will be very, very fast. You'll be really a sought-after professional in the job market. If you look around your peers in LinkedIn or your friends in your network, and if you think that someone has really advanced very, very fast in their career compared to anybody else, just look back in their career and you will find that the first 10 years or 15 years of their career path got perfectly correct. That is the power of career compounding, and that exactly is what I wanted to highlight in this podcast. Maybe I sounded a bit aggressive in terms of emphasizing the fact that you have to get these facts right more than anything else. And believe me, it is not talent, or it is not competency, or it is not being much, much smarter than anybody else matters. What matters is that you decide that the career is a marathon and run that marathon in a very, very planned and careful way. And a marathon requires a lot of hard work, a lot of sweat, a lot of toiling, a lot of midnight oil being burned. But eventually, in the later part of your career, you can just sit back and relax because you've done everything right in the first 15 years of your career. That is the power of career compounding, my dear friends. I'm sure you appreciate this point of view. As I said, it is a repetition of what I spoke many times earlier. But if you always draw an analogy as to how money grows faster and careers have to go faster, there's a lot of similarity. Like the first 1 crore is extremely sorry. Like your first 1 crore is the toughest to make. The first part of the career may be the toughest to remain stable, but once you remain stable in the first 10 or 15 years, believe me, the rest of the career will just be a cakewalk, and you'll achieve immense success and glory with remarkable ease and less efforts compared to anybody else. Very, very happy talking to you on this very, very interesting perspective. I'm sure you will probably agree or disagree with this. Feel free to leave your comments about this point of view. I'll see you soon in another podcast. Thank you. I wish you all the very best in the days ahead, and also a great career ahead. Thank you. Consider liking and subscribing, and probably sharing this video with your friends and peers. Thanks a lot. See you soon.